attraction starts to move away from you. So these are things that can happen. We know not to chase. That's pretty common knowledge, common internet knowledge. When you chase women, their attraction will go down for you if they're in that process of drifting. So what do we do to get ahead of this? What do we do to get on top of it so we're managing the frame in our relationship? That's the question, right? That's what we're going to talk about. Women and thriving on conflict. It's not that like, oh, women are all drama, this and that. It's not that. It's just that they're emotional beings. Okay. They're ways that the way that they're wired is a little different than you as a guy. You know, that goes, their brains filter information going through instinct first, then unconscious mind, which is the way my model for the unconscious mind is more behavioral, which is those previous experiences that create habituated responses. So it's going through those things that are in the unconscious and the instincts first. You as a guy, you filter things the same way that way. But then for women, it'll go emotions next and then logic. For guys, it's usually logic and emotions, unless a guy is having a traumatic induced reaction. Okay, so when a guy's reacting based on previous, we'll call it traumas, okay, then a guy can think just like a girl. A guy can be emotional first, right? But mostly, though, when guys are evaluating things, it's logic first, then emotions. And so women are just emotional beings. They're in the moment. That's something you just have to understand about them. There's survival reasons for it. And women also thrive and desire variety, okay? So all of this has been good for our species. It kind of pushes us as a species to do better in a way and to, you know, look for changes, right? And those changes usually it can signal improvements. But there are different levels of drama. You know, there's what I call high drama relationships where like the girl cheats at one point or she's emotionally cheating. The guy gets mad and he starts cheating and she finds a separate phone where he calls all of his other girls on and then she stabs him with a knife and then they're going to divorce or leave each other. And then they make up and then they have crazy makeup sex and then they're madly in love with each other next. And this all happens within the period of a month. I'm actually illustrating a real situation, right? So this is not something I just made up. Those are what I would call high drama relationships. And then you have your low drama these are high drama women. Now, usually, and the guys thriving on drama as well. So people who thrive on drama usually have a lot of things going on with them psychologically that need to be addressed. You know, there's a lot of just instability and unhappiness that they have going on. And so you don't want to be in a commitment or get too serious with a woman who's a high drama woman. She has problems that you can't fix that she needs to work out, right? But even like what we would consider a low drama, they do thrive a little bit on conflict, okay? And they do thrive a little bit on drama because there's this instability to a woman. Somebody, she strives for security, wants that security, wants that stability. But then once she has it, there's a signal kind of inside of her, which is like, she'll get bored and she'll want some variety. And that's just because if you were completely stable, doing the same thing every day, back thinking like nomadic evolutionary times, hunter-gatherer times, that could signal maybe a death. I mean, your resources could be running out in the location that you're in. You need to pick up camp and, walk miles to another area where there's more resources. And if the men of that tribe or area are being complacent and not doing anything and the resources are running out, you see where this could be a problem, right? So in theory, in our evolutionary past, there were lots of instability. You had tribal fighting, right? You had, fights with other tribes, territorial fighting. And even without that stuff, you had resources that would be abundant and then they would run out and you'd have to move to another place. And this is all instability. This is all creating a variety. And so when women are usually passive in their responses to this, because back during those times, they weren't the resource provider, they were tending to the resources, usually back in a camp and tending to the kids and all that stuff. They were utilizing the resources. So when things become very, we'll say status quo, things become like very just same thing every day kind of thing, that signals like, uh-oh, like what's going on? What are we doing next? Like we should go somewhere, we should do something, right? And so, okay. And so the question is, what do we do about this, right? And in the beginning, that drifting and pulling away and then her coming back, well, in the beginning, her emotional buy-in isn't as high. She's not as deep in a commitment with you. Maybe you're not in a commitment at all. You're just dating. Well, that drifting away can open up avenues for other men to get involved and other things to happen. And next thing you know, you're not dating her anymore, right? Or that pulling away can stimulate anxiety and problems in you, where you start to do that chasing behavior, which then makes her start to see you as differently, starts to see you as weak. And we know not to chase. That's pretty common knowledge, common internet knowledge. When you chase women, their attraction will go down for you if they're in that process of drifting. So what do we do to get ahead of this? What do we do to get on top of it so we're managing the frame in our relationship? That's the question, right? That's what we're going to talk about. So first thing is, all right, to get ahead of it, the first thing is that you do want an unpredictable lifestyle. Being unpredictable is the first thing and easiest way to get ahead of this pulling away thing that she's going to do. All right. And I know I see some questions in the chat. I will get to those guys. So, that's the first thing. That's like, if you can be unpredictable, and I don't mean toxic. All right. I just mean being just your lifestyle is unpredictable. So I'll give you an example. So my lifestyle is relatively unpredictable. I have a son that I raise in, with his mom. Okay. He's over parts of the week and over there parts of the week. So that already creates some level of unpredictability. Sometimes I have them, sometimes I don't, right? So there's just that small thing. But then I have military obligations still on, we'll say, a reserve component side. Sometimes I'm in town. Sometimes I'm out of town. I can count on myself going out of town sporadically. I mean, it's planned. There's a schedule, but it's different weekends, different times, different lengths of time each month. So sometimes I'm gone for 4 or 5 days. Sometimes I'm gone for 1 or 2. That already creates unpredictability. With what I do here, yeah, mainly when consults and when the courses drop, it'll be group calls too on top of consults. But I'm in an office Zoom chat, but then I also have a very active social life and things that I'm doing, side projects that take me away from the home. This creates, all right, goes back to just courting your girl. If you're that guy who's in a marriage right now and it's super boring, how much have you been doing to court her? All right, because her attraction comes in waves. When you're unpredictable, it puts her in this circumstance of wondering what you're thinking, wondering what you're feeling like, wondering what's going on next.